I'm Joey.
And I'm Anthony, and we are here exposing a hostile, unsafe working environment at Sunline Transit. These are my views, my opinions, not Sunline's opinions or views.
And they're my views, my opinions, and not Sunline's views or their opinions.
And we are protected under Labor Code 232.5, Labor Code 6310, and our First Amendment right, freedom of speech, our constitutional rights. Welcome.
Welcome, welcome.
Okay, we're rolling.
See that you're there, please.
Oh.
I was personally offended by Mr. Garcia's ad hominem attack on our executive director, general manager, CEO. And I understand First Amendment and I understand right of free speech, but this is getting to be way beyond what is, in my opinion, fair comment and fair disagreement. And I don't.
Okay, stop the video, Anthony. Stop it right there. Let's talk about this for a minute. Just to read. How dare you blast and show any kind of disgust like that with the videos, with Anthony or anybody else? Where's your personal offense towards the passengers that have been assaulted, the drivers that have been assaulted, the passengers that have been left on a scorching hot bus on a scorching summer day when the air conditioning breaks down or when the bus breaks down? That happens all too soon. Are you personally offended by that?
What about
because
the
that's a big
operators?
problem that we.
What about the operators going to the ER?
Yeah. Does anybody have personal opinions or offenses on that? Is anybody personally offended by that? Because I mean, I'm certainly not happy about those things that happen.
What about the non-disclosure agreements that people were forced to sign to get their 2 months of pay or severance pay or medical? What about that? Why are we keeping these individuals, their voices and their First Amendment freedom of speech shut down? Why aren't you offended by that? Why aren't you offended by all the people that have come to the board and let them know that there was a hostile work environment? What about that?
Exactly. Where is this guy when these people are getting bullied to the point where they quit, or they get screwed over to the point where when they're fired? Where is he then? Where is his personally offended attitude then? You see, it doesn't exist because these people turn, like I told Bob Mueller earlier, they turn deaf ears and have blind eyes to the situation at Sunline. I mean, they didn't even know what a relief car was, Anthony.
Yeah, a relief car.
This is what we are dealing with.
But wait a minute. Indian Wells doesn't have low-income families. Indian
No.
Wells doesn't cater to the poor and the east end of the valley. Indian Wells doesn't have to worry about that. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, it's got to be something like that, because I mean, look at what happens in DHS. Look at what happens there. Look at what has happened in the past, where a bus was stolen from Pearson West.
It just happened.
Hot ride down Palm Drive through the Kmart parking lot. Thank God that nobody was injured or nobody was killed or nothing was seriously damaged besides the bus. You know, I mean, that could be replaced. But could you imagine if that thing had gotten onto the freeway?
Yeah. So it just happened again. Was it last week? It happened again. The guy tried to steal the bus, and it just happened today. It just happened today. From my information that was sent via the newswire, there also has been an attempted bus hijacking, and the operator, I guess, was pushed out the way, and a couple of passengers supposedly stepped in and assisted. But this is the kind of stuff that we're dealing with on a daily basis, but we never get recognized on our tough job that we have. We just make it look easy, and here we are getting blasted that you want to say that, oh, well, you feel offended. Okay, that's fine. You feel offended. That's your right and your opinion. But
That's
my,
right.
my opinion is another thing.
Yeah, that's the thing with it's all about him. To hell with everybody else.
Well, he's rich. He lives in a
Yeah.
he lives
Oh,
in
yeah.
Indian Wells. I mean,
Yeah.
that's we're like the last of the Mohicans, you know what? We're the person that they call them the bottoms. You know, we're the bottom class. So
I mean, you know, a lot of people think that we are just living the life here while we are on this paid administrative leave. They don't realize the work that it was done in the backdrop, the work that you've done, especially with the absence of me, because my father was in the hospital for a long time, and then he has just recently passed. So now I have that to contend with, you know, with the will, the trust, and everything. But it's not like we're on this little vacation here.
yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean?
you
We're not doing this for our health.
yeah, we're doing it for change, and it's not even about us. It's about change. You know what? Change needs to be done, and it's not of us going after anybody in particular. We want change. We've been mistreated for many years. So many of people have been hurt, fired. Good people that have been here years that knew the system, but yet you hire individuals that don't know the system. That's why the failing system. You know, that's what's happening.
And it's continuous. It has been getting progressively worse for over the last 7 years. She's been there for what about 7 years?
Well,
I mean, you hit the nail right on the head with the credit card purchases that flown with Oglesby as general manager. Hell no, it wouldn't.
Nope.
They punished him for that.
Yes.
They sure did. They punished him for that.
Yeah. How is he able to get away with? He wasn't able to get away with all that, and he was probably making 200 and something thousand a year.
Now back then, I don't know. Well, I think it was about probably 300 when he during his departure. But I mean, I'm sure there's bigger fish to fry with this one. This is a bigger tamale. I don't understand why there's no investigation. They investigate us. How come there's no investigation into all of the makings at Sunline, including Mr. Reed here?
Yeah.
Including all the transit board members, because they seem to turn deaf ears to the situation. And you know, Anthony, I know we spoke about this earlier, and you know, Mayor Lisa Middleton has addressed the situation, and I would like to ask her to contact us and let's talk. Let's talk. You know, civilly. We don't have to do it on video. We don't have to do any of that. We can just sit down and talk.
Uh-huh. And we're willing to sit down and make a change. We're willing to sit down and make a change. You know what? How do we fix the transit system? How do we make this company to what it used to be? I mean, you know, don't get me wrong, Joey. I mean, I know we have to we got to go into innovation and hydrogen vehicles, and I understand that it's clean and it's good for the environment, and I understand that. But
okay, but okay, let's talk about that for a minute too. All right, so we're getting, you know, that we have BYD buses. Okay, yes. If you Google BYD buses, you will see Google hits from across the country with these failed BYD buses. You mean to tell me that Sunline cannot purchase You mean Tesla doesn't make an electric bus, or General Motors or something like that? They can't get one of these companies to make an electric bus. It's got to be a Chinese BYD bus.
Oh, is that what they are?
Yeah, they're BYD. They're Chinese made. Communist China buses.
Oh, is that why?
That's
Is that why they can't get a lot of the parts?
Exactly. Do you know that the one time that the bus was broken down, and I was doing this is ways back, and they couldn't get it fixed. They had the technician come from China, and there was a translator on the bus that talked to me. So it went from me to the translator to the technician. When you have to go through all that, then you should rethink your options, because that's insanity.
But that's $1 million bus. The $1 million bus. There really needs to be an investigation on recalls, because that bus shutting down should have a system where it allows you to pull off the road safely, not the steering.
Well, yeah, that would be the hydrogen buses. Those are the ones that stop in the middle of the road, and you can't turn the steering wheel. So when you're on the freeway and the bus stops, guess what? You are shit out of luck, because you're stopping in the middle of the freeway. You got to wait till that bus shuts down entirely to restart it, and it's got to go through all them checks, those click before it starts, and literally praying to God that you don't get rear-ended on the freeway.
Mm-hmm.
That is a safety issue, a major safety issue.
Yes. Do you wanna continue playing this video?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let's see.
Council, but if there is any way that we can, I don't want to use the word protect, because she's got big shoulders and she can protect herself, but if there's any way that we can insulate her from these mindless ad hominem attacks, I certainly would like to explore them.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Reed. I'm sure they're
Mindless. Okay. Okay, well, that's rather insulting, isn't it, Anthony? Mindless?
Yeah.
Mindless? You want to talk about mindless?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Mr. Reed, maybe you should sit down and talk to us. Maybe you should find out. Let's get to the core of the problem. Let's get to the root of the problem.
Yes. I agree.
I mean, we're not. You know what? We are not doing this for our health. We are not getting paid for this. We are not sponsored to do this. We are doing this from our own minds, from our own hearts, from our own selves, to better the situation.
It's called having enough of a place that 26 years, I've seen it all. I've seen a lot of it. And you know what? Like I said, it's never been as bad as it is now. And you know what? Like I said, the buses, people don't really realize what the operators are going through with these hydrogen vehicles breaking down. They should have done a test on these hydrogen vehicles in the summer and tested during the windstorms to see that these buses can withstand these temperatures. But
well, I was told that Sunline is one of 2 test facilities to test these gigantic wastes of money, and Sunline is one of them, and the other one is in, I think, North Dakota. So they test in the extreme there and extreme here. Okay, but I don't know about there, but it's clearly evident over the years that these buses don't work in the summertime in the desert. They just don't. They don't factor in the terrain in the desert, because obviously we have mountains and hills here. It's not flat land. So when you have one of these electric or hydrogen buses and you're going uphill with it, it's not diesel. They don't have the power or the longevity or the speed of a diesel to climb a mountain. they burn up more fuel, and they just are, they're lead sleds, they're tankers. I'd rather have an Orion.
I want to ask you something, Joey. I know Sunline's a clean energy, and it's all about the fuel, and it's all about the clean energy and natural gas and hydrogen. Don't we have a couple buses out there that are diesel?
We sure do.
And how much money are they paying? I wonder if they're hauling in this hydrogen to fuel these buses.
Well, I'm not sure. I know they were. I think they did truck in hydrogen a couple of times. But do you know why they have they have a diesel or two NCI buses? And do you know why they have those buses? They say because they're leased and they're using them for right now. That's because their hydrogen buses are not reliable, and they've got this behemoth deal with the universities to get these kids to what is it, UCS?
San Bernardino.
San Bernardino, that's it. I couldn't think of the damn school. I know my dad was just in UCSD for 16 days, and I'm so used to that. San Bernardino. They have a huge deal with them. They got to get these kids there. And the hydrogen buses are not reliable. They have to rely on diesel power to get them there. So what about the CVAG clean air policy? I guess it doesn't apply. What about that?
Well, we got somebody that sits on the CVAG. One of our board members sits on the CVAG, and we have a couple of them that sit on the RCTC.
I think we.
That's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Because we're guaranteed to get funding.
Yeah.
Let's see
as long as we need to level the playing field when it comes to the money.
Yeah. So I mean, it's we don't mind that people are spending money on vacations and stuff, but you know what? It's time to give the operators what they're worth. You know what? They're the ones that are keeping this transit system running. I mean, I just heard that another driver just quit. I mean, he couldn't even get a day off, 2 days, but here we are off on leave. But
2 months already? 2 months?
Yeah. So let's listen to what Lisa Middleton has to say.
Yeah, let's hear what she says.
I want to second the comments of Commissioner Reed, and also just remind everyone that we do listen. We are paying attention at all times. And what is most persuasive are facts and arguments that are grounded in reality. And ask that those who are trying to persuade us of the accuracy of their opinion are best served by coming to us with solid information that we can rely on.
Thank you.
Okay, stop right there, Anthony.
Yeah.
Okay, every one of those videos are solid information.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, she should contact us and we could have a discussion.
Yeah.
About those hardcore facts, because we do have them.
Well,
we do have them, Ms. Middleton.
We produced the $120,000 that was spent in the physical year. That was a lot of work. I stayed up till like 3 in the morning, but
yeah,
it's a lot of work navigating all that information. But I asked Lisa Middleton, I did send her an email letting her know the situation that we're in, and she said she couldn't get involved. Okay, well, that's fine. She couldn't get involved, but how about getting involved?
Okay, but she said she couldn't get involved. Then why is she getting involved right now? She just said they can't be persuaded with statements. They need to have facts.
Okay, well, let's remove those non-disclosure acts. Let's have Lisa. Let's have you go down to Sunline, and let's go through the HR department and go through the records and have all those individuals that signed the non-disclosure act or quit or got fired. Why don't you have them make calls, and why don't you have your investigating team investigate
Exactly.
the wrongdoing there? That's fact. I can't get that information, but there are individuals on the videos speaking of the hostile workplace, and that's not created by anybody but your what do they call her, Joey? CEO.
It's a general manager. Let's get it
Oh.
right. She's a general manager.
Okay. So, with that being said, okay.
And let's just be mindful here that Mayor Middleton is running for SD 28 in California. Anthony.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
maybe we'll let's have a sit down and let's try to get stuff in order here. You are a leader, and I was looking at your bio and all the different statements for running for your political campaign, and I know you have a lot of good views, but we have a lot of facts.
We do.
Our videos. We're not just blowing this steam to make people upset, because like I said, if you do the history, we've never done videos and went against the grain. We've always tried to work with the system and haul people from one point to the next, and we loved our job. That's why we were here so long.
Yeah.
So it's not something that we do normally. So any one of those board members, if you want to sit down and you want to talk to see how we can resolve these issues, and maybe there's a solution to the problem. We're glad to have any open discussion off the record or
Yeah.
on the record. Like I said,
I think I'm telling you, that's why I said she needs to reach out to one of us and we could talk about it.
yeah, I mean, we can get back to square one. I mean, we're still out of work, but
Yeah.
the movement's not going to stop until change is made. I mean, that's
right.
all we're asking for is change. We're not asking for a whole lot. And I know the east end of the valley doesn't get all the perks as the west, but let's turn around and let's focus also on the east end of the valley. Do you know that the line 9, the first bus out of Mountain Gate in the morning is 7 a.m.? Did you know that? 7 a.m. How are people supposed to get to work on the west end of the valley? We used to start there at 5 in the morning.
Yeah, we used to start way up there at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I remember that years
Now
ago,
it's-
the 91.
Now
Yeah.
it's 7 a.m. How can people get from the east end of the valley if they're working in the west end of the valley? How can they get out of there using
It's an hour and a half. It's an hour and a half to Mecca at least, and it's no, I'm sorry. It's only about 20 minutes to Mecca, but then it's another from Mecca to Indio, and it's like an hour and a half, and then
But the start of the shift is 7 a.m. over there. I mean, that's
yeah,
the
I know.
first pickup.
If you're going from Mecca to Rancho Mirage, you're screwed. You're
Yeah.
screwed. I mean, look at years ago the Carl's Jr. stop over there on Harrison, Cesar Chavez, whatever it is now. That stop used to be popping years ago. On every Sunday, it was loaded full of people. Now look at
The routes have gotten
cricket.
they've gotten chopped down so bad. The east end of the valley has suffered. Let's focus. Let's bring the service out back to Mecca area. You know what? Because it's all about the people. You know, that's all we're asking for. 7 a.m. That's a 2-hour difference. You can't even get out of there a Mountain Gate until after 7 a.m. So by the time you get to Mecca to get the line 8, you're near 8 o'clock. I mean, by the time you get to town, you're at 8:30. I mean, 9 o'clock. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't get out of the east end of the valley. So with that being said, we just want to make this short video and let you know that we are thinking of you, and we're going to continue to move.
That's
and
right. Yep.
Make a change.
That's right.
And
That's right.
This is J&A, and we're out.
Out.